What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. Today we've got a quick comparison between the realme X50 Pro and the realme X50 5G. Now, as you know, the 5G model, just the normal realme X50, is the newer release one that we've recently got at eFones, and we have just done a review on that, so you'll be able to see that in the link in the description, so you can go check that out now. And if you're new around here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It helps us out and you'll see more videos like this in the future. But yeah, moving on to the video. On my left here, I've got the X50, and on my right, I've got the X50 Pro, and basically I'm going to delve into some of the pros and cons of both of them and basically say what would be better for each scenario. So obviously, that being said, the X50 Pro is in a lot more expensive model, so it's going to be bragging those higher end features as it has a bit more budget to play with, whereas the X50 has to cut corners somewhere to get those prices down. But I will say is there's not a lot of compromise here, and the X50 is an absolute beast and it holds its own against the Pro, so we'll see who comes out on top, in my opinion, at the end of this video. So as I said, the X50 is on my left here and the X50 Pro is on my right, and what we're going to do first is talk about the screens. So the X50 Pro has a 90Hz AMOLED display, so that will mean all your colors are super crisp because of that lovely AMOLED display, and you'll be able to get those really dark blacks and really deep colors. So your colors are going to be absolutely beautiful, and 90Hz is more than enough for that scroll speed that you would be looking for and that refresh rate for any gaming. The X50 5G has a 120Hz refreshed LCD IPS screen, so the colors won't be just as vibrant and the darks won't be just as dark, but you'll get a much higher refresh rate. For me personally, I haven't really been able to notice the difference in refresh rate from 90 to 120. Definitely noticeable when you see a 60Hz phone compared to 120 or even a 90, but personally between the 90 and the 120 I haven't really seen much difference. We will do a gaming comparison in a minute, so you'll be able to see them side by side, so you have a side by side comparison there and be able to see the differences more clearly. And it is very noticeable though, that being said, the color differences, you can really see that, and hopefully the camera can pick up what I'm seeing, but in person you can actually see that difference. I mean, if you were just using it day to day, you probably wouldn't ever realize it, but having them actually side by side hands on, the screen on the Pro version just looks a lot crisper. Now, another factor about these phones is the fingerprint and face scanner. Now, they both have a face scanner capability built into the camera itself, so as soon as you pick it up, you'll be able to scan your face and unlock your phone, but they both also have a fingerprint scanner. The Pro version has a fingerprint scanner inside the screen. Be able to see here, if I face this away from my face and pop my thumb on the thumbprint scanner, it should unlock straight away and I should get straight in. Now, personally, the fingerprint scanner on this phone has been a little bit temperamental. I don't know if I scanned it perfectly or not, but it has been a little bit on and off, whereas the fingerprint scanner on the X50 itself is a side-mounted fingerprint scanner that you can see here, and that is super snappy, super crisp, straight on, straight in. The only time it plays up a little bit is when it searches for a face. See, it searches for a face there and sort of overrides the thumbprint scanner, but that doesn't happen too often. As long as you keep your thumb there, it should open super quickly. So what you will notice about these Realmes is another huge selling point is the ginormous battery. Now, both of these have a 4,200 milliamp hour battery packed inside this unit, and for an extremely thin unit, I don't know how they managed to even get that inside the device, so that's incredible. But the Pro has a super dart charger that will charge to 100% in 35 minutes, compared to the X50 5G itself, which has a dart charger, 35-watt charger, that will take a little bit longer to charge that up to fully to 100%, but still a very quick charger. Not to mention the ginormous battery. Now, I've used both of these phones. None of them have ever been short on battery. At the end of the day, I'm always left with at least a spare 30%. I reckon with enough careful usage, you could get these phones to last you easily through 2 whole days. We will do a quick camera comparison here just so you can see the difference. The selfie camera, they are a little bit different. The Pro has a 32 megapixel selfie camera compared to a 16 megapixel selfie camera on the X50 5G. So you will see a little bit difference there. It's not too noticeable, but it is there, and the Pro just takes crisper selfies. Now, we will show you a quick comparison here just so you can see yourself, and we will even compare the rear cameras just so you can see that as well now. Now the actual UI looks very similar. It is a realme version of the UI. Now you will see in the settings here that they are both running on Android 10 and they are both also running on the newest patch. So these are both up to date. And then you'll see they're running on a Realme UI version 1. However, if you go into the information here, you can also see that they're running a Color OS version 7 here. Now, the Pro does have an update ready. We haven't installed that update just yet, so I don't know if that will change anything, but for now, they're both on the same version, so they're exactly similar. You can also see in the settings here that the X50 has 6 GB of RAM, and the Pro version here has 12 GB of RAM packed inside it. You've got a ginormous capability here for RAM on the X50 Pro, so you'll basically have the smoothest experience you can think of. This is one of the smoothest phones I've ever used. Definitely that 12 GB of RAM helps out. Moving through this list, you can also see the processors here. So you can see that the X50 has a Qualcomm SDM7 65G 5G octa-core processor. So to your average Joe, basically that's a Snapdragon 765 5G processor, and this is also a gaming geared processor. So it's got liquid cooling and is geared towards gaming, so it's fine-tuned so that your gaming experience will be super smooth. On the X50 Pro, you've got a Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 octa-core processor as well, so a slightly better processor on the X50 Pro, so it will still be just as smooth. Again, this is not geared towards gaming as such, but you will still have that super smooth gaming experience based off the fact that it's got an extremely powerful processor paired with the large amount of RAM. Now it is very clear now, as I was mentioning earlier in the video, the brightness difference. The luminescence on the X50 Pro is so much brighter than the X50. We did have a little bit of difficulty when reviewing the X50 when we were outside. We did see that it was a little bit dim. In the UK though, we don't get too bright weather, so it is alright over here, but I can see in brighter countries that it might be a problem. That would not be a problem with the X50 Pro, as the screen is extremely bright, being that Super AMOLED display. What we will do now is quickly show you a little bit of the gaming capabilities, a side by side, just so you can see which phone is smoother and the differences overall. So a lot of you have requested that we do an AnTuTu sort of benchmark test. Now I didn't know what this was before we started doing these videos, so I'm glad someone let us know and asked us to do it. So what we will do on these phones is do one for you, so we can do a side-by-side comparison and see how they perform. So we'll jump straight in real time so you can see it. I haven't opened this app before, so basically this is the first time having a look. So here's the scores, guys. Now you guys can let me know if these are good or bad scores, because I'm not too sure. I do know that the higher the score, the better, so clearly the Pro has performed a lot better here. So you can see this has got just over 450,000 in score for the Realme X50 Pro 5G, and the X50 5G itself has just got just over 250,000 here itself. Now I've also got a little bit more information, so you've got these scores here for the image classification and the object detection. There's no more really on here, you can't really swipe any further, but this is it, and this is what you guys were asking, so here you go, here's the AnTuTu AI benchmark. So thank you guys for watching our quick comparison between these two phones. Now obviously we did know that the X50 Pro would perform better as it is a far more expensive, higher end device, but we thought the X50 really put up a good fight in comparison. I mean, compared to the prices of them, you can't really compare them fairly if you were to do a side by side. If they're the same price, then obviously I would say go for the Pro, but for the price of the X50, you're getting an insanely good deal. So yeah, thank you guys for watching our comparison. Obviously I would say if you're trying to get a good phone on a budget, I would advise you to get the X50. It's an incredible phone and it puts up an incredible fight against a sort of flagship model like the X50 Pro. However, if you have a bit more budget to spend and you really want to get the most out of your phone, I would go for the Pro version. The colorway on the X50s I always think look a little bit better just because they have a slightly cooler ones, although I do like this rust red variant that we have here of the X50 Pro. On the whole though, two incredible phones, and I would advise anyone that's looking to buy an Android, have a look at realme because you'll be blown away by what specs you can get for what price. Thank you guys for watching our video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're new here. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. We reply to every single comment. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button, and thank you for watching once again, and I'll see you in the next video.